One major symptom of an unhealthy home and an unhealthy space is really high levels of humidity. And one of the biggest contributing factors is condensation that forms on your windows. Condensation on windows can actually stem from other root causes like your climate, your home's thermal barrier, or your insulation. There are really practical ways to manage condensation on the windows themselves. And by doing this, you'll start to create a healthier environment inside your home by reducing your humidity levels to a healthy level. And spoiler alert, these are some of the simplest things you can begin doing in your home, not only to reduce condensation on the windows, but it will be beneficial to your whole space and your home health-wise. I'm Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert. This week, we're going to be covering the top 10 ways to reduce condensation on your windows at home in order to help lower the humidity levels inside your space. We know that high humidity levels leads to all kinds of problems in your home and ultimately the health of your body. So in case you're new around here, you might be wondering why condensation and high humidity levels even play a role in a healthy home. Well, it all has to do with improving our indoor air quality. If windows continually have condensation sitting on the sill, whether it be wood, vinyl, or aluminum, the water creates this ripple effect in the quality of our indoor air. So first and foremost, the water sitting on the sill is actually damaging the window casing. If it's a wood window, you may notice the stain or the varnish start to deteriorate really quickly. Once that protective varnish is gone, the risk of damaging the actual wood becomes very serious. Now, wood is a natural food source for mold, and once mold has started on that window, it can become almost impossible to completely remove it. The maintenance that is involved in wood windows that have condensation can be a long and tedious set of tasks. Now, the second way that condensation on windows affects your home's health is by water on the window raising your indoor humidity levels. If you've been around here for any amount of time, you know that indoor humidity can affect things like dust mite reproduction, mold growth, and toxin off-gassing, and then the overall health of your indoor air. So when indoor humidity is too high, the negative effects on the indoor air quality begin to take place. But the good news is, and this is what I always love to share, that it is actually a lot easier to reduce your humidity levels than you might think. It's just simple tasks that you'll need to start doing at home and habits that you'll begin to implement that will change your indoor air quality for good. So first, we want to embrace and use our vented fans. This is a must when it comes to cooking and bathing or laundry. Just these two daily occurrences increase the overall humidity in your home, and if you have a master bathroom, it can really affect the humidity levels in your bedroom. So the water vapors quickly travel to where the air is actually drier, and once humid air hits a cold surface like a window, it turns it to condensation that takes quite some time to evaporate in your air. Second, stop drying your laundry indoors. So again, this is a point about adding moisture to the inside of your home. Your laundry habits, whether it be line drying indoors or using a dryer that doesn't vent to the exterior of your home, it can add a lot of moisture to the laundry room as well as the rest of the house. So first and foremost, check to make sure your dryer is in fact venting out to your exterior and that the vent is not blocked by lint. This will help ensure that most of the moisture is being expelled outside. Also, line drying inside can actually raise your overall indoor humidity by a whopping 7 to 12%. So if you must line dry, do it near an open window or use a fan of some kind to help the process. So while we're on the topic of humid air affecting window condensation in your home, make sure that you check your plants. How many, the location, etc. Plants are a great source to add moisture to a dry area, as well as other benefits to our health and wellness. But overwatering plants or having too many plants in one small area can increase the indoor humidity levels by quite a bit. And if the plants are right next to the window, sure you can guess that they'd be more likely to cause window condensation from the humidity near that window area. Fourth, use your humidifier very strategically. So I totally get it. I live in Minnesota. The northern half of the country uses humidifiers all throughout the winter. And while this is beneficial to health and wellness in some respects, you have to use these very strategically in order to make it safe. I have a post where I talked about using a humidifier in a very safe way that I've linked in my blog this week. But essentially, you want to give your room time to dry out between uses. So my best advice is to use the humidifier only when you need it, when you're in the space, and turn it off and empty the reservoir tank between uses. Second, don't use the humidifier on the highest setting. And then finally, keep the humidifier away from walls, textiles, and windows if possible. Fifth, if you can manage to keep your temperatures inside a touch warmer, this will help. The science behind condensation forming on the interior of windows is that once warm, humid air comes in contact with a cold surface like your window or sometimes even a wall, the moisture from the air forms condensation on the surface it touches. So with this in mind, you can try to warm up the temperatures inside your home, which will then in turn warm up the window surfaces. You may also notice that the windows on the south side of your home don't have as much condensation in the winter. This is because the surface of the window is so much warmer. Super quick, I wanted to invite you to a free workshop I'm doing on November 6th, where we're going to talk about how to create a house that will heal your body instead of burdening it down. We're talking about 4 major areas that your home is actually burdening down your body and what you can do about it. If you want to register, simply head to healthyhouse.unblock/free training. Sixth, leave your shades open whenever you can. So the better the airflow around the window, oftentimes the less condensation has a chance to form. So the reason is twofold, in that the air circulation helps any water forming evaporate more quickly, but it also prevents the moisture forming in the first place due to regulating the temperature of the window. So keeping your shades open as much as possible can help keep that air flowing around the actual window pane. This is the reason oftentimes we see condensation first thing in the morning after the shades have been drawn all night, insulating the window from that warm interior air. So the best trick is to open the shades right away and wipe off the window from the warm interior air. So the best trick is to open the shades right away and wipe off any condensation that has formed overnight. Seventh, use ceiling fans and use them frequently. So using a ceiling fan can be a great way to keep that air circulating in the room and keeping the interior air warmer and a bit more dry to prevent moisture from forming on the window panes in the first place. You want to make sure that the fan is rotating clockwise in the winter, and this will help push the air off the ceiling and back to the floor, keeping the entire room warm. This is an easy change to make and try, and oftentimes one of the first things you might do, especially if the condensation is localized to 1 or 2 rooms. Eighth, avoid blocking vents with furniture. So airflow, as we've talked about, is imperative when trying to avoid condensation on windows. Make sure that you don't have furniture blocking any vents that are in your space, and you'll also want to keep your HVAC vents clear of any rugs or furniture so that the conditioned air can move into your space. Also want to make sure that your cold air returns are unblocked as well, so you'll have better ventilation in your room. Ninth, add some weather stripping if you have to. Weather stripping either on the window or the window sash can help prevent cold air from leaking into the house, which can change the temperature of the window on the inside. Again, we want to keep the window on the inside of your home the same temperature as the indoor air to prevent condensation from forming. Weather stripping can be as easy as a foam adhesive strip you add, or it can be as complex as adding a bead of caulking to the corners or edges. Either way, finding some quality weather stripping can help prevent window condensation on the interior of your windows. And then finally, ventilate for 10 minutes every day if you can. So opening your windows and letting fresh air in for just 10 minutes a day can greatly reduce the humidity that is inside the room, as well as allow fresh air inside. If it's cold outside, you can simply close the bedroom door and open the window so you won't impact the rest of your home's temperature. And all you need is 10 minutes to bring that cooler, fresh air inside to help dry out the inside air. Some people even use this practice to improve their indoor air quality throughout the entire day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found at least one thing from this week's video to help you with the condensation in your own home and ultimately improve your indoor air quality inside your space. If you did find this video helpful, I would be so grateful if you would give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new tips and new ideas on how to create an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness.